everybody. Thank you for taking the time to visit my channel. And let's get right into it. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you, everybody that's taking the time to subscribe, comment, like, and actually just watch my videos. You don't know how much it really means to me. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of research. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I do my due diligence. I try to give you information that people aren't really talking about, or they don't like to spend too much time on, give too much credit towards to. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. On this, give you a brief, you could actually read the description on my channel, but just give you a brief. I talk about anything antiquity when it comes to all the cultures, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Persians. I talk about antiquity, anything history related. I like to dive deep in because history is a big thing for me. And I feel like if you don't understand history, well, let's just say you're doomed to repeat it. But anywho, I wanted to just put this little segment in and just say thank you all. It really means a lot. My channel has been growing. You guys have been really liking the videos, and it means a lot to know that you guys are enjoying my videos and taking this information in, and like I said, I always give my reference to you guys. That's one of the few things, one thing that I always want to be dedicated to is to show you the references, show you where I get all my information from so you can do the research yourself. Because as I say, whatever you hear, anything you hear, even for me, listen, but do your research. All right. That's one thing I always want to get across on my videos is do your research and critical thinking. This could be a big thing on my channels, but yeah, so please like and subscribe because it really does help out my channel. Almost to 400. I'm trying to get to 500 by at least say the summertime, but anywho, I'll just keep producing content and I'll leave it up to you guys to like and comment and subscribe if you think my videos are up to it. So anywho, just wanted to get this out there for you guys to say that I appreciate you all. Thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart. You guys make me keep pushing. But anywho, let's get into this video. So got an interesting story straight out from livescience.com. 13-foot long Book of the Dead scroll found in burial shaft in Egypt. It's going to be very interesting, as I keep saying. Egypt, on my channel, I'm going to reiterate this all the time. Egypt is really important in antiquity. It played a big role in a bunch of cultures. So just want to point that out. But let's get right into it, though. A funerary temple belonging to Queen Nearit has been discovered in the ancient Egyptian burial ground, Saqqara, next to the pyramid of her husband, Pharaoh Teti, who ruled Egypt from around 230-23 BC to 2291 BC. The Egyptian Antiquities Ministry said in a statement. Made of stone, the temple was 3 mud brick warehouses on its southeastern side that held offerings made to the queen and her husband. Near the pyramid, the team of the Egyptian archaeologists also found a series of burial shafts containing the remains of people who lived during the 18th and 19th dynasties of Egypt, 1550 BC through 1186 BC. The ministry said in a statement, which was released January 16th, these burials were likely part of a Teti worship cult that formed around after the pharaoh's death. The cult seems to have remained active for more than a millennia, with people wanting to be buried near the pharaoh's pyramid. So far, the team has uncovered more than 50 wooden coffins in these shafts, along with a wide array of objects. The papyrus was found inside one of the 250 caskets at the Saqqara Square site and contains texts from the Pharaonic Book of the Dead. The Book of the Dead is an ancient Egyptian funerary text that contains declarations and spells to help the deceased in their afterlife. Throughout their history, the Egyptians believed in life after death and that you would be judged by Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the underworld, and the dead. Preparing the dead bodies for their eternal existence and the joy and happiness was important. Many dangers could appear on the way up to the afterlife, and therefore 192 spells, which were included in the Book of the Dead, could help ghosts when spirits when moving from one world to another. Now, I would like to do a little segment because when it comes to spells, not a lot of people know that actually the Greeks and the Romans practice this, and the Jews, early Jews, actually practiced this also, and it all stems from the Hellenistic religion. And if you don't know what the Hellenistic religion is, I actually made a video where you guys should actually see, and it'll give you a lot bit more. But during the Hellenistic area, we know about Ptolemy II taking control of Egypt. He was actually one of the generals of Alexandria that recently died in the 3rd century BC. And after they conquered this land, Ptolemy was the remember that, first Greek Egyptian pharaoh. Remember now, first. There's no other Greeks spouting the hairdressers, dressing them up like that. No. This was the first time that the Greeks were taking control of this. It was the 3rd century BCE. And what's interesting is that during this time, the Greeks took elements from Egypt and installed it into their religion. And just to show you about the Hellenistic religion, many people practice magic, and this to be represented a continuation from early times. Throughout the Hellenistic world, people who would consult oracles and use charms and figurines to teeter misfortune or to cast spells. The complex system of Hellenistic astrology developed in this era, seeking to determine a person's character and future in the movements of the sun, moon, and planets. The system of Hellenistic philosophy, such as Stoicism and Epicureanism, offered a secular alternative to traditional religion, even if their impact was largely limited to educated elites. So, just wanted to point that out. And as you've seen too, I skipped a little bit parts and just talked about the bottom part, but look it up. It was from 300 BC all the way to 300 CE. So this was even during the time of Jesus, ladies and gentlemen, because we all know it was 0 AD all the way to about 30 CE. So everybody knew this. This wasn't nothing hidden. Everybody was practicing magic, reciting to oracles, doing astrology / astronomy. So I know this may be news to some people, but this was going on, people. And then if you watch another video that I showed, that the scriptures also have a little bit of astrology in it, and you can see that video that I'm showing you right here too, that you can take a look upon that though. So just wanted to point that out. And what's also interesting is where the Greeks derived this from. And we all know about Herodotus, which I also made a video too, which actually I will show you a segment to show that the Greeks all got all of this magic, astrology, they got it from the Egyptians. And like I said in the beginning, Egypt was the breeding ground for information around this time. Everybody came into Kemet to come learn from here. And Kemet's original name of Egypt, we get Egypt from the Greeks, of course, but Kemet was the black lands because of the soil, the black soils around it, and with the people also. But yeah, and what's interesting is we have Herodotus quoting where they get all the worship for their deities, the practice of magic, astrology. Like I said, they got it from the Egyptians. And I'll show you here. So now, page 118 on book 2. Book 2 of Egypt. Says here by Herodotus, got it here highlighted. As to all matters concerning the human world, they were in agreement. They said that the Egyptians were the first of all peoples to discover the year by dividing up the seasons into 12 parts to total 1 year. What does that sound like, guys, to you in the Western civilization? What does that sound like? And that they discovered how to do this from the stars, astronomy.
The Egyptians seem to me to be much wiser than the Hellenists in a way that they regulate the timing of the seasons. I'll get back to the definition of Hellenists in a second. While the Hellenists attempt to preserve the timing of the seasons by inserting an intercalary month every other year, the Egyptians divided the year in 12 months of 30 days each and add just 5 days each year beyond that number, and thus their seasons do return at the same periods in a cycle from year to year, duality. They said that the Egyptians were also the first to establish the tradition of identifying names for the 12 gods, and that the Hellenists adopted this practice from them. They were also the first to assign altars, statues, and temples to the gods, and to carve their figures in relief on stone. So you can see from what Herodotus is claiming that the Greeks got all of their customs, especially when it came to their altars and their rituals, from the Egyptians. And that word Hellenist, I want to give you a brief definition so you know exactly who he's talking about. So as we see here, Hellene, noun Hellenist, an ancient Greek, even a native of modern Greece, chiefly in the title of the now exiled royal family. So you see exactly who he's referring to when he's saying that they make up claims, or that they're following, that the Hellenists are following the Egyptians. These are the Greeks. Herodotus himself is a Greek too. But next insert, I want to show you page 144, so you guys can see also book 2, page 144. In any case, the Egyptians were the first of all peoples to hold public religious festivals, pageants, and processions escorting divine images. Remember now. And the Hellenists, well, since I gave you the definition, I'm going to just say, and the Greeks learned about these rituals from them. My proof for this assertion is that Egyptian ceremonies have obviously been held for a very long time, but those of the Greeks have been instituted only recently. The Egyptians come together to celebrate major festivals, not just once, but many times a year. The most popular festival takes place at the city of Bubastis in honor of Artemis. And if you know Greek mythology, you know who that is. The second most popular festival honors Isis, an Egyptian moon goddess, at the city of Bosphorus, an Egyptian city situated in the center of the delta where the most important sanctuary of Isis is located. Isis is, in the Greek language, is Demeter. If you know Greek mythology, you know about Demeter, and especially in
many dangers could appear on the way to the afterlife. So one discovery of the 16-meter-long papyrus was spells from the Book of the Dead. Med shed new light on Egyptian beliefs about the transition to another realm. The Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, Mustafa Waziri, has announced the ancient scroll will be displayed in an Egyptian museum. Waziri added that the papyrus was restored in the restoration laboratory of the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir and has been dubbed the Waziri Papyrus. Waziri's remarks came during the celebration of the Egyptian Archaeologists' Day at the Opera House, in the presence of Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Ahmed Aiz. So yeah, as you can see, another artifacts getting found, and it's just every other day, people. We're just learning something new. And I hope this just shed some light into the Greek culture and how Egypt, well, Africa entirely, just had a profound amount of contribution to all these cultures in the world. And I just don't think it's getting talked about as much. And I think there's actually some hidden ways also, which I'll leave for another video. But yeah, I just wanted to get this across. I found that interesting because when it came with the spells, and wanted to bring this to you that the Greeks and the Romans were also during this too. Because if you know, the Romans took over one against the Greeks, but they continued Hellenization also. And just to end this in an interesting way, why did they continue Hellenization? As you know, you defeat the people as you try to conquer them, but yet they continue the Hellenization and the spread of the Greek culture and Hellenism. But just say it's do your research. But I'll be diving deep more into that certain topic. But anywho, wanted to get this across, and please watch some of my past videos if you're new, so you can get caught up. Because I'm stacking stuff up right now, and we're gonna get to a big reveal on my channel. I'm saying if truth is the only thing I want, and as you see, I sport my Ankh all the time. Just my commemoration for Egypt and its contribution. So, yeah. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. A new video's coming out soon. Just it's in the works. I'm actually on the road right now, stuck in a hotel, but that won't stop me from giving out information and finding out the truth and all this. So again, thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.